What's going on, Dolphin fans? It is your boy Dillon, and to keep with my desires to make videos for the rest of the season, at least here or there, I decided to put together a short one. I don't intend to talk for very long today, but I did want to get into this game against the Patriots. Obviously, we're going into it, 5-2. I think that the Patriots are 2-5. They just got off a win, or coming off a win, obviously against the Bills, which we loved to see last week. And I was rooting for the Patriots in that game, obviously, because that allowed us a 2-game lead going into last Sunday night's game against the Eagles. And, as upsetting and disappointing as that game was, and as much as I do believe the deciding factor in that game was the officiating, which is what makes it the most frustrating. I mean, yes, we played a tough team and a tough environment, in their house. Reigning NFC champs. Yes, there were injuries, but to me, and those are factors in the overall equation. But to me, the deciding factor was the officiating. That's what made it so frustrating. But because the Patriots, who we play this week, beat the Bills, we still have a 1-game lead over the Bills. Now, the Bills did just win last night. Although, let's be, frank, or not last night, excuse me, on Thursday night, because this is Saturday, on Thursday night. But let's be frank about that, bro. The Bills could have, and really frankly should have, lost that game. There's two things. One, if, oh, God damn it. Why am I blanking on the receiver's name now? Shit. Oh, my Lord. I'm super blanking on the receiver's name, but there was a receiver for that Hail Mary that totally could have had the ball, totally could have had the catch. I mean, even, without, really locking in on the ball, just putting his hand out, he almost could have had a one-handed grab. But if he actually located the ball, if he looked up a little bit sooner and located the ball and got two hands out, he could have easily made that catch, and they could have got the win and beat the Bills. And, then they would be 500, because they would have been 4-4, right? Because they're 5-3 now. So they would have been 4-4, which would have been amazing, right? And there's the other thing of, there was definitely some penalties that could have been called that weren't called, that would have set, damn it, who'd they even fucking play? Because now I'm even blanking on who they played. Hang on, I'm sorry. This is just, it's bothering me now. Who the fuck did the Bills just play? Tampa Bay. There we go. Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Bucks. Right. So the Bucks could have fucking won if the wide receiver either would have caught it, or if they would have got a penalty like they should have and then had the ball down at the 1-yard line. And if they would have, then been able to subsequently punch it in. I mean, they would have only likely had like one play to punch it in, but they would have had one play down at the 1-yard line to at least try. So Bills could have and probably should have lost that game too, but it is what it is. The Patriots gave us the opportunity to stay up on them even with our loss to the Eagles. That is the overall point of that. But going into this game, look, I mean, this is a game that we should win. Yes, okay, they played the Bills well, on Thursday. Last week, and they got the win last Sunday, and they got the win, and, it's a division rival, and Bill Belichick, and blah, blah. But look, this is a game that the Dolphins should absolutely win. I mean, they're favored, I think, by almost 10 points. I think that they should cover that spread. This is another one of those games. I mean, look, do I think at any point during the season are we going to score 70 points again against, inferior opponents? No, probably not. But this is a game where we should get to 30, maybe even 40 points, and for the most part lock down the Patriots offense, which is pretty garbage, right? So, and again, you don't want to overlook any opponent. I get all that, but look, and I get in the first time that we played them, it was 24 to whatever, and we didn't score a ton of points. But look, we're in Miami now. They have to come down to us. Matt Judon's not going to be in the game. I am actually going to pull up the injury report, though, in a minute. But Matt Judon and Christian Gonzalez won't be playing because they're out for the year. So they won't even be on the injury report because they're just out for the year. But they're also pretty banged up. You know, they have a few guys that they've, ruled out since the injury report that I guess I'll just go ahead and pull it up and just, get into talking about that. But look, this is a game that the Dolphins should absolutely win. They should be able to cover the spread, and they, should win it pretty handedly, even though we're going to be missing some guys. Although it does look like we may be getting Jalen Ramsey back. But let's actually get into talking about these injuries real quick. So this is the injury report that, I'm going to move me over here real quick for this. This is the injury report that came out Friday, the final injury report. However, there have been a couple players on both teams that have been ruled out since. So starting with the Dolphins, we have listed here, let's see, the last questionable guy is Connor Williams. So from River Craycraft to Connor Williams are all questionable. River Craycraft, safety Javon Holland. But those two guys have been ruled out since this injury report. So Craycraft and Holland will not be in the lineup for this game, but I think that's fine. Again, I think this is one of the games on the schedule where you really can sit some guys and feel all right about it from the perspective of this is a game we should win even if we're not at full strength. Last week against the Eagles, that is a game I personally would have preferred to be at full strength, but again, if it wasn't for that damn officiating, I still think we actually would have won the game despite the injuries and so on and so forth. But anyway, aside from that, though, everybody else should be basically good to go. Xavier Howard with his groin injury, I think and expect should be playing. Alec Ingold should play. Mostert should be playing. Sounds like he is. Needham, I don't know if he's going to really play much, but he should be at least good to go, because obviously they're still kind of working him back. Jalen Ramsey, now, there's been some back and forth reports between with things that Adam Schefter reported and Ramsey kind of pushed back a little bit yesterday. But it does look like Ramsey may see some field time. Who knows if it's going to be pitch count kind of stuff or not. But Ramsey should potentially be out there. I think for sure he'll be out there in the Chiefs game. Maybe we'll see him, which would be fucking awesome, though, from my perspective, because I think, look, this defense, I get it. They had kind of a rough start, and they're coming on slow and so on and so forth. But I really do think that they are going to catch up to where the offense has been. And I think in the second half of the season, you're going to see them as a top 15, maybe even top 10, maybe even top 5 unit, because the pass rush, even though, at times it hasn't been great, and this defense as a whole has struggled. The pass rush is still one of the best in the league right now. I think we're top in the league in quarterback hits and third in sacks. So even with some of the struggles, the pass rush, and I know that's padded by a couple games, but the pass rush is still up there in the rankings. While the rest of the defense is kind of, in the mid to bottom half. I get that, but I think it has been slowly creeping up. They've been getting better in the run defense as well. And I think with Ramsey coming back and Howard in the back end, especially when Holland does come back, which will probably be next week against the Chiefs, when we should expect to be at full strength. The linebackers have been playing better. The D-line as a whole has been playing better. I think this defense is going to start rising up to that level of elite as well and start to really complement the offense. And then that'll also give the offense more opportunities, because I think we will start to then also we'll get better in our coverage. I think our coverage is going to improve, because that's definitely statistically been one of the weakest areas of the team. And I think it'll also start to then produce more turnovers, including more interceptions and stuff. So I hope so. Obviously, I hope that's what ends up happening. But I do legitimately think that it will as the season progresses, as the team gets healthier overall. And you get guys like Ramsey and stuff back. So we will probably get to see a little bit, at least maybe, of him. Cam Smith with a foot, questionable. Connor Williams with a groin. I also think Connor Williams, from what I've been hearing, will play as well. So that'll be good. And then everybody else, Braxton Berrios, just a personal thing for Friday, but he's good to go. Tyreek Hill, obviously there was also that talk early on in the week on Wednesday. And he's listed here with a hip, but Tyreek Hill said he's fine. You know, he didn't get any kind of injury reporting coming out of last game. Nothing looked wrong with him coming out of last game. And he said, I don't know how much of it's true, but he said that, you know, he did that just because he was trying to get attention from his mom because his mom wasn't paying attention to him or whatever. So I don't know. I mean, it's not totally unreasonable, but you know, Hill's also kind of a funny, silly guy and you know, whatever. So I don't know. But at the end of the day, when it comes to the injury part of it, it doesn't seem like it's really anything. So, you know, doesn't really seem like it's anything. And he doesn't have a designation. He was limited a couple days. He does normally get a rest day on Wednesdays. That's pretty common for him anyway. So that wasn't really a big deal. And then he was limited a couple days. But he said he's playing. He said he's fine. He said he's good to go. Whatever. Kohu, no designation, good to go. Waddle with his back, no designation. David Long with the knee, no designation. He was full all week. Good to go there. So, you know, look, I mean, and then we just got to knock on wood and hope that over the next 2 weeks, we don't sustain any more, you know, injuries. And certainly no setbacks, no regressions in the injuries we do have. Keep guys and continue to get guys healthy because after these next 2 games, we then have our bye week to get even healthier. And we should then expect to get Armstead back. Although I hear he may potentially be able to come back for the Chiefs game as well. We'll see, I guess, on that. But we should be able to get Armstead back and as well as Achane. And then we'll be basically, as long as, again, we don't sustain any new injuries or have setbacks to current injuries, that we should basically be at full strength on both sides of the ball. And then we just got to try and stay that way for the rest of the season. And then I think that this team really can kick it into the next gear and really be elite on both sides of the ball. And then again, if we start getting more turnovers, that'll give more opportunities to the offense to score more points, put up more yards, and continue this historic pace. And then also, you know, maybe get some of those wins against the tougher teams. Like, let's say the next opportunity will be the Kansas City Chiefs. So, you know, if we have guys like Ramsey and Howard and Holland in the lineup there in the secondary, and if we have Connor Williams back in at center, you know what I'm saying? And things start to get a little bit more stabilized when it comes to the injuries and getting guys back in the lineup. Look, I think we can win that game against the Chiefs. And if we do that, we'll be 7-2 going into the bye to get even healthier, to get even more reinforcements back. And then we come out of that, we play a home game against the Raiders, and from there, we can really take advantage of a few games where there's some relatively weak opponents, the Jets twice, Tennessee, right? There's a few games, and then the back end, you know, we're going to have the Cowboys, the Ravens, and then the Bills, I think, are our final 3 games of the season. All are going to be tough games. The Cowboys and Bills are at home. The Ravens are in Baltimore. But I think that we can, you know, end the season. I still think that we can end the season with like 13 wins-ish, 12 to 14 wins, let's say, you know, or something like that, and win the division and get that number 1 seed. And look, if we end up beating the Chiefs as well, that will go a long way. Not only will that give them another loss, but that will also go a long way as far as like tiebreakers for the number 1 seed in the conference. So anyway, lots of stuff to develop as the year goes on. Let me run through the Patriots real quick, and then I'll just kind of talk about the game and then kind of wrap it up. Because like I said, I don't want to go too long with this video, so I just wanted to make it kind of quick. Anyway, so Calvin Anderson, offensive lineman, has already been ruled out as far as this injury report goes due to an illness, but they have since also ruled out a couple other guys, Vidarian Lowe, an offensive lineman, and a pretty big one, Josh Uche, linebacker, has also been ruled out since this injury report was released. So those guys were originally listed as questionable, but since then have been ruled out. Aside from that, Christian Barmore, who's a good player, questionable, but, you know, banged up. Trent Brown, they're one of their top offensive linemen. It looks like he's going to be playing, but, you know, banged up. Jonathan Jones, cornerback, he's going to be playing but banged up, right? That goes for our guys too, of course. Sean Wade, questionable, cornerback. Keon White, defensive line, questionable. Let's see, who's the last guy? Dietrich Wise is also questionable. And then Devon Gottschall, Hunter Henry, Ty Montgomery, and Cole Strange were all full participants Friday. No designation, good to go. So there you have it. That is the injury report and all that good stuff. This season, I'm hoping that, in the future, hopefully I can, get my life stabilized. The past few years have been super tough and it's been a real struggle. And, that's been why I haven't been able to continue and be consistent with my channel and with these videos and stuff. But, I just kind of said, fuck it, recently. And I was like, I'm just going to do it. And I'm just going to kind of have some fun with it. Things are going really good with the team. So I'm just going to say, fuck it and do it. But hopefully, I will be able to get my life stabilized. So that way in the future, I can do more, like high level videos with actual breakdowns of like stats and fucking, where we are. Like offensively, the Dolphins are still ranked, even after last week, number 1 in pretty much every offensive category. Offensively for the Patriots, they're shit. They suck as far as their statistical categories go. I do know that. I don't have it pulled up right now, so I can't show you. But, that's going to be stuff for future videos. I just, right now I don't have the resources and the time and the stuff to do it. So I just wanted to make a short video today. And then defensively, the Dolphins aren't ranked super great, but the Patriots are actually ranked, I think, middle of the pack or higher in most categories. So, hey, look, they still have a pretty decent defense. They still have some good players on that side of the ball, but I'm frankly not really worried about this team, like, at all. I think, especially since our defense has been coming on and getting stronger and stronger the longer that they get to play in this Vic Fangio defense, the more that they get healthy and get reinforcements. I think that they are going to start rising up to one of the more high-end or top-end, defenses in the second half of the season. I think they're just going to continue to get better and better and better. And I think that they'll shut down this Patriots offense with pretty easily. Like, I'm not really worried about the offense versus defense, their offense versus our defense almost at all. When it comes to our offense versus their defense, we're at home. We're going to have the home field advantage. They're definitely going to wear down over the course of the game. And, we're like 15-2 at home in the past 17 games and blah, blah, blah. All these different things you could throw out there. But look, I think it all holds weight. And I think that, overall, I get that it's a division rival. I get that, last week they played good against the Bills and stuff. But I just think that this is going to be, and I'm not, trying to overlook any team or a division rival or whatever, but I think it's going to be a relatively easy game. They should come out with the win, by like 35-13 or something like that, right? Like it should be a pretty easy game. They should take control of it, out of the gate, and they should really never relinquish control, frankly. They should get on their first offensive series, they should get a touchdown. They should score a number of them, right? The running game should be good. The passing game should be good. And on defense, I would like to see some more turnovers. And I would like to see that continued growth out of the defense, especially, when it comes to Ramsey, I personally, it's like I've said, I would sit some of those key players in this game if you think that, it is what's best for the long haul, because I think this is a game that you can afford to do it. But like Ramsey, for example, I would certainly be excited to see him out there. And I can certainly understand playing him in this game to kind of, even if it was on like a limited snap count or whatever, to just kind of get his feet wet before we go to Germany to play the Kansas City Chiefs, right? So, yeah. Anyway, I'm excited for it. I can't wait. Obviously, it's, early morning. It's for me, it's early morning, because it's the early slate of games, so I'm going to have to get up to watch it. But I'm excited for it. I can't wait. I think that it's going to be a fun game. It's going to be entertaining, and I think we'll be able to wash the fucking bullshit from last week away. by getting a win and a strong win. And, I think it's going to be the first time all season where you really see a full complement of what this team can do on both sides of the ball. Because again, I think that the offense is going to pick up, where it left off, I guess, or, continue its historic pace. I think the offense is going to perform well and continue on their trend that they've already been at. And then I think the defense is going to start to catch up to that. We'll get some more turnovers. We'll get some turnovers because we've been struggling in that the past few weeks and for pretty much the whole year. So I think we'll get some turnovers. I think we'll dominate this game. We'll come away with the win. Like I said, something like 35-13 or something along those lines. So let's get it. Let's have a good time. And then let's get ready, for an amazing, I mean, that's a super early game for me. I think it's at like 7:30 in the morning, the Germany game. So that one's going to be stupid early in the morning. I don't know how I'm going to handle that one because I normally stay up till like 2-3 o'clock in the morning anyway because I'm just kind of a night person. So it's like, I got to make a decision on if I want to just like take a few hour nap, maybe go to bed a little bit early so I can get a little bit more sleep. Do I want to like try and pull an all-nighter? I think the likely situation is I might just try and go to bed a little early, maybe around like 12 or 1 o'clock, get, 5-6 hours of sleep or whatever it is, and then get up for the game at like 7:30. But that one, look, here's what I want. I just want them to take care of business like they should tomorrow. I want them to have a convincing win. I want them to fucking crush the Patriots since we're at home and all that good stuff. I want us to get that fucking dub, come out 6-2, stay in first place in the division and, keep pace with the, Chiefs the best we can at this point. And then next week, baby, go into Germany on the big stage, the international stage that is. And obviously it's a primetime game, meaning it's the only, game that's on because it's so early in the fucking morning. But anyway, let's go get that fucking game and let's win against the Chiefs, bro. And then if we can come out of that shit 7-2 going into our bye with our defense starting to look a little bit more elite and our offense getting some more reinforcements coming out of that with Armstead and Achane and the offense looking like, I want them to have a good performance against the Chiefs too. So look, I want us to come out of that 7-2 looking to get more reinforcements back and also looking like a team who's really rounding into shape on both sides of the ball and looks like to be a powerhouse on both sides of the ball, not just on offense. And because then that will also allow our offense to remain powerhouse against the tougher teams. Because then if we're getting stops on defense, limiting their possessions, limiting their time of possession, limiting their yards and their scores and all of that stuff, and then also getting some turnovers and giving it back to our offense, they then have more opportunities to put up points and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what I want to see. That's what I'm hoping for. And that's what I think we will see. So on that note, let me bust up out of here. I talk a lot. It is what it is. So, 25-minute video. It is what it is, bro. But I'm going to get out of here. Like I said, I'm not going to be making a ton of videos anyway. I'm just going to make them as I feel compelled to or, have a desire to. And I'm going to try and make at least, a video or two every week. For as long as I'm able to, and hopefully for the rest of the season. So anyway, with that, let me get up out of here. Hope you guys do enjoy it and appreciate my perspective and stuff like that. So let's go get that win tomorrow, baby. Fins up. Let's do it all day, every day. And I will see y'all soon.
Miami wins it.